Alright, so now that we're tuned up, let's get right into it and start learning some chords, because most songs are made up of chords. Those are kind of the building blocks of what songs are just composed of. So, my favorite chord is E major, so we'll just start with that one. We'll look at your guitar here. We'll just number our fingers real quick, 1, 2, 3, and 4, so you can understand what finger I want you to use on which string. So, just a little tip when putting your fingers on the guitar. Remember, these things are called frets, and when I say press down on the 2nd fret, I'm not actually meaning press on the metal fret, because not only does that give you a weird sound, but it hurts your fingers a lot too. So when I'm saying put your finger on the 2nd fret, that's referring to the little wooden box before the 2nd fret. So that's something when I was first starting out, I didn't totally get, and I couldn't get why all my notes were sounding like that. Was because I was pressing on the middle part, when really you're supposed to push before it and get a nice sound like that. So, E major, put your 1st finger on the 4th string down on the 1st fret. So, 1st finger, 4th string down on the 1st fret, which is right there. And then put your 2nd finger on the 2nd string down on the 2nd fret. That's right there. And then put your 3rd finger on the string directly below your middle finger. Right there. So you press down on just those 3 strings. Don't touch any of the other strings, we'll just leave them open for now. So press down, give it some pressure, and then give it a strum. Nice deep sound. Sometimes you might get some sounds like this. Not totally clear. It's because you're not pressing hard enough on those frets right there. So press down as hard as you can and be as precise as you can. Don't let your fingers lay over any of the other strings, or else you might get some weird stuff like that. So right straight down on the center. Nice chord like that. So that's the E chord. So now we're going to move on to the A chord, which is another chord that I like. It's fairly easy. It's all on the 2nd fret, so it's very easy. You can either use 1 finger actually and bar over it and play it, or you can use 3 fingers. I use 3 fingers, that's just me. If you want to bar it, go for it. It just hurts my fingers. So let's start out. Middle finger, put it on the 3rd string down on the 2nd fret. So middle finger, 3rd string down on the 2nd fret. And then put your 1st finger on the string directly below your middle finger. So 1st finger will be on the 4th string on the 2nd fret. And then with your 3rd finger, just again, the string below your 1st finger. So it's all 3 right in a row, all on the 2nd fret. It's the 3rd, 4th, and 5th string on your guitar. Again, press down on those fairly hard, and don't let your fingers lay over any of the other strings. So that part might take some practice. It took me a little while before I got to be directly on the strings and not pressing any other strings. So give it a nice open strum. That's your A chord. So now practice going from that E chord to the A chord and back and forth. Practice that transition over and over and over again so you feel completely comfortable with it and you don't even have to look before you start changing. So once you get that comfortable, you can move on to other chords, but tackle the E major, and this is A major first. So alright, so now that you have the E major and A major chords down, let's throw 2 more into the mix. We're going to do F sharp minor and then D major. So, starting off, we'll go F sharp minor first. Take your 1st finger and put it on the 1st string on the 2nd fret, and then take your 3rd finger, put it on the 2nd string on the 4th fret, and then follow that with your pinky right underneath it on the 4th fret with the 3rd string down. So you'll get just these three strings right there. So that actually makes the power chord, and we'll go over those in a little bit. But again, so 1st finger, 1st string, 2nd fret, ring finger, 2nd string, 4th fret, and then pinky, 4th fret, 3rd string. Now if this is getting kind of confusing to follow along from the video, you can look at just chord diagrams either online, or there's tons of books out there that have them in there as well. So those will just give you a little picture of your strings and little dots where your fingers are supposed to go. So that's actually really helpful to kind of have to look at as well as listen to this, because this is kind of confusing. First fret, third finger, fourth fret, so it gets a little bit confusing, but if you just look at those diagrams you should be fine. So again, so that's F sharp minor. You just want to play the first 3 strings on that, and then you can mix that with your other 2 chords that you already know, E major and A major, and you can get this. So you got E major, A major, F sharp minor. Notice how the minor chord sounds a little bit darker, not as a happy, wholesome feeling as the other major chords. So that's a big tonal difference between major and minor. It's just how the overall sound of it is. So E, A, and F sharp. Practice that until you get it down flat and you don't have to look between changing chords. Then you can add this last chord, which is D major. It's fairly easy. It's on the last 3 strings, so the farthest away from you. Take your second finger, your middle finger, put it on the 4th string down on the 2nd fret, and then take your ring finger, put it on the 5th string down on the 3rd fret, and then take your pointer finger, your 1st finger, and put it on the last string on the 2nd fret. And then start at the 4th string down, and then just give it a strum. You have a nice, bright, happy, wholesome sounding chord. Again, if you got lost with the fingers and the frets, just look at a chord diagram and you can see what I'm talking about. So, get used to the D chord, D major, and then practice switching again from E to A, then you can go F sharp to D. So once you get that down, you can develop your own sort of groove, your rhythm, your feel, and actually get a chord progression going. Something like this. So that's just those 4 chords that we just learned. You can do that. You could just do. So there's just a bunch of different ways you can fool around with those 4 chords. So honestly, too, most songs are only made out of 3, 4, maybe 5 chords. So just learn different chords and chord progressions, and you'll be up and running in no time. Alright, so let's just jam around using those 4 chords. I'm just going to do E, A, F sharp, and D. Just different rhythms, different patterns maybe, but we'll just use those 3 chords to kind of show you, or 4 chords, sorry, what you can do. So. So just 4 chords. That's an example of what you can do with just a couple of chords. So learn those chords and then you'll be playing your songs very quickly.